Many companies have stopped asking you how much do you make in your current role, in part because it's illegal in a lot of places. However, they will still ask you what is your expected salary or what are you looking to make, and if you don't answer this interview question correctly, man, you could really lose out on a ton of compensation. In today's video, I'm gonna tell you exactly how to answer that question. Let's go. Now, first things first, I was a corporate recruiter for 3 years. I've been in recruiting for 12 years. And the first thing I want to tell you is do not give them a number. Don't give them a number here. And I don't want you to be contentious about this, but the reality is you don't have enough information. You know, what is the mentorship opportunity when I come in here? Am I going to be mentored by somebody great? What are the learning and development? What are your benefits? You know, is there the opportunity to have tuition reimbursement? There are so many things that factor into overall role value that giving them a number right now is incredibly uninformed. There's just so much information that you're going to get over the next couple of weeks when you're interviewing for a role that when you talk to a recruiter at the very beginning, you do not want to get them a number. Now, some of you are saying, well, Ben, if I don't give them a number, will this recruiter tell them not to hire me? That's a good question. The reality is, as a corporate recruiter, even with the best relationships that I had with my strongest relationships with hiring managers, I was not in the position to say, do not hire this person. If they looked at a resume and that person looked great, they're gonna wanna interview them. Even if I say, you know, I had some red flags, they'd be like, okay, cool, let me talk to them and figure it out myself. And as a corporate recruiter, I was not able to just not send qualified candidates to the person. So if you're worried about this ruling you out of the role, first and foremost, don't worry about that. Now, I don't want you to give a number for a few reasons. One, you just don't have enough information yet, right? You don't know about the scope, about the technology, about the development opportunities, the training. Like, there are so many things you don't know yet. But one of the big concerns is I don't want you to do one of two things. One, go low, and then you've priced yourself super low, right? And now they're gonna try to get you for a deal, and you don't want that. You don't move that many times in your career. You need to maximize the value. The other thing that you could do is you might put yourself too high, and you might be over the range. That is one of the instances in which a recruiter can actually go, you know, hiring manager, I really like this person, but they were looking for 20K above the salary range. I don't think you should interview them. And here's the reality. This is like a recruiter secret. If you get moved forward and you talk to the hiring manager and they end up falling in love with you, they might be willing to pay more then. But at the very beginning, if you say you're 20K above the salary range, you might not even get that shot. It is one thing to pay above market for a known commodity or somebody that you're incredibly interested in. It is a whole nother thing to pay for an unknown commodity. So don't price yourself too low and get a lowball offer. Don't put yourself too high and not get an opportunity to interview the role and maybe still get that money that you were looking for. Some of you are thinking, well, Ben, what about a salary range? Is that a great answer? No, don't do that. Because here's what happens. When you give a salary range, the recruiter, if you go, Ben, I'm looking for 80 to 100. What are you thinking? 100. What is the recruiter thinking? 80. So don't do that. You don't want to give a range. So this is actually what I would like you to say. Whether it's benefits, PTO, or growth opportunity, they all kind of play a factor in me assessing the offer and deciding whether or not it's a good fit for me. Now, towards the end of the process, once I've learned some of these things, I think I'd be in a better position to give you an informed number of where I would looking to be compensation-wise. Now, here's the thing. If you say that, and again, that is how I would want you to say it. That's how I advise you to do it. You still might feel in the back of your head, Ben, but what if they don't forward me? If you are a great candidate, they are going to forward you to the hiring manager. And they'll just let them know, hey, I asked about salary. You know, this person said they're open to a fair and commensurate offer, you know, with their experience, or, you know, this person said they want to learn more about the scope, the demands, the growth opportunity, the PTO, and they didn't feel comfortable giving a number until they learned the rest of that. That is a reasonable position. The hiring manager will get that. Now, I want to talk about one more scenario, because sometimes you are going to get a recruiter who just will not budge, right? And you don't want this to turn into an argument. They go, okay, yeah, totally, Ben, I get that. But if you gave me a ballpark so I knew whereabouts you were, I think that would help. I would say maybe one more time being like, you know, I'd love to do that. I'm not sure because of all the other factors that really do play a big role in, you know, me determining if it is good value for the position. Can you give me the range? and turn it back on them one more time. And then if they give you the range, then if they're like, well, it's 80 to 100, and you're willing to accept an offer at 100, you'd be like, okay, well, that's helpful. I still want to learn a little bit more about it, but 100 is kind of the number that I was targeting, assuming everything else checks out. And that is a good way to do it. Now, finally, you might get that one recruiter who goes, no, Ben, I am not going to give you the range, but can you tell me what is a number? You've got two options at this point. And I don't think one of them is good. I think one of them is good. The good one is give your number. Give the number you'd be willing to accept on based on everything you have learned up to this point. And if they don't move forward with it, you're just at peace. Or you can one more time say, look, I don't know what to tell you. I don't have that number. I really do need to know more about the role before I accept. And then it might be like a contentious relationship, which ideally you would avoid if you could. But to me, if they push back, try one more time saying, hey, until I know everything, it is hard for me to give a number. Can you give me the range? And if they still won't do it, then I would just give them the number and I'd be at peace with whatever happens from here on out. One of the questions you are going to get in this interview process is, where do you see yourself in 5 years? I'll be honest, I don't love that interview question, but you are going to get it. And if you are going to get it, well, it probably makes sense that you know how to answer it well. If you watch this video right here, I guarantee you will crush that interview question and increase the probability of you getting a job offer.